Hello, I'm Lara Kochersan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. We start with the volatile anti-immigration protests that are unfolding in Los Angeles. Tension is running high after US President Donald Trump deployed 2,000 National Guardsmen to address what he calls lawlessness in California. It's the first time in decades that the National Guard has been deployed to a state to quell unrest or maintain law and order without the governor's request. Governor Gary Newsom has called on Trump to pull back the guards, saying their presence is worsening riots that have engulfed the city center, and he's even threatened to sue the Trump administration. Protests erupted after false rumors began circulating online that immigration agents had raided and arrested immigrants working at a hardware store on Friday. Fear quickly gripped the city and protesters spilled onto the streets. But what started off peacefully turned violent as protests continued through the weekend. Authorities used pepper spray, rubber bullets, and smoke grenades to subdue the crowd. Many demonstrators have been waving the Mexican and other Latin American flags as protest symbols.
We're standing here in solidarity with the immigrant community in Los Angeles. We're demanding that the city departments not collaborate with ICE. In the 9th District, we have the largest immigrant community probably in the whole country.
The cars on the freeway were stopping, they were honking, pulling flags out of their cars, Mexican flags, Nicaraguan flags, Honduran flags, out of the car, supporting the protesters that are on the freeway right now.
Trump is trying as hard as he can to push people and to cause as much chaos as possible in order to make people fight back. Because when people fight back, that's when he deploys his fake patriotism and says, these people are troublemakers and they're anti-America and they must be quelled. Hey presto, Insurrection Act, martial law, king of the world.
Since coming into office, Trump has prioritized crackdowns on illegal immigrants, who he claims are driving up crime. He's also set his sights on foreign students and academics, canceling visas due to national security, crime, and civil rights concerns. Critics, though, argue students are being silenced for the pro-Palestinian protests that swept through the universities in response to Israel's war on Gaza. With raids becoming a daily occurrence, the internet is splashed with advice and legal tips on how to respond.
If you have documents showing that you are here legally, you need to keep them on you at all times and show them to the officer if you are approached. If you have a lawyer, you need to tell them right away that you need to call them and you're not going to answer any questions without them. And then you reserve your right to remain silent. This is the most important one. If you are a business owner and they are coming to your place of business, you need to ask for a warrant. But most importantly, you need to inspect that warrant because it needs to be signed by a judge in order to be enforceable. I know it might seem like it doesn't matter because ICE isn't exactly adhering to the law, but it does, and I'm going to tell you why. ICE is trying to meet a quota. They are trying to detain the most easily detainable immigrants who don't know their rights. The more educated you are on your rights will make it harder for them to detain you. If they do violate your rights, that'll be very important for your lawyer to acknowledge during your court hearing. It is still important to stay informed.
Financial regulators across 6 countries have launched a joint crackdown on misleading content by so-called finfluencers. They are social media personalities who promote financial advice and products. The coordinated week of action began on June 2nd and includes regulators from the UK, Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, Italy, and the UAE. In the UK alone, the Financial Conduct Authority, or FCA, has issued 50 warning alerts, triggering over 650 takedown requests across social media platforms. More than 50 websites run by unauthorized finfluencers are being targeted. The FCA also said it has made 3 arrests. Finfluencers often share investment tips and money advice with followers. While many operate legally, regulators say others promote financial products without proper approval, often flaunting luxury lifestyles to build trust or appear successful. The FCA warns these posts can mislead users and pose real financial risks, especially to young or inexperienced investors.
I'm really glad this is happening. I'm sick of financial influencers. Sounds controversial, sounds ironic because I'm technically one, but I am qualified. I do this as part of my day job. I'm not someone who just got lucky on one investment. I'm not someone who just happened to buy a property, it did well, and I was able to pull money out and get another one. There's lots of these financial influencers that are giving really, really specific instructions to people who haven't got the knowledge and understanding. And guidance is okay, But telling someone to open a limited company, to buy a property within it, and then do this, this, and this, and get a bridging loan, or to buy a certain type of stock or index, I think it's highly unethical.
After mounting pressure from European lawmakers, TikTok has officially blocked searches for #SkinnyTalk. The hashtag was controversial and accused of promoting extreme thinness and fueling harmful beauty standards. The tag had been linked to more than 500,000 posts, many of them featuring low-calorie meals, what I eat in a day videos, and intense workout routines. While some of the content appeared to offer health advice, experts warn it is often disguised toxic diet culture. TikTok now redirects anyone searching for the hashtag to mental health support resources. But critics say the content hasn't vanished. It's simply reappearing under different hashtags, particularly within TikTok's fitness-focused FitTok community. Extreme thinness has been glamorized since the 1960s and was quickly spread online when the internet took off. Skinny talk was just the latest version of a long-running trend. And while TikTok has cracked down on the hashtag, the problem runs much deeper. Experts say there is a direct link between social media and eating disorders, and the numbers are alarming.
9 in 10 girls follow social media accounts that make them feel worse about how they look. More than half say they can't live up to the beauty standards they see online. In the US, nearly 30 million people suffer from an eating disorder at some point in their lives. But only 27% of women ever get treatment. Even worse, more than one person dies every hour as a result of an eating disorder. And studies confirm social media is linked to eating disorders.
I don't know if this is a controversial topic, I don't think it is, but I want to get your guys' opinions on what your favorite pool safety things are. No matter what, we are doing a pool fence because our backyard is pretty big, so I feel like it is just smartest to have a fence right when you enter out the back doors. You can't even get into the whole backyard. I still want to have something around the pool, so thinking is a pool net. We found a company that has had literally 0 fatalities.
That was Emily Kaiser, an influencer with over 5 million followers across her socials, speaking about the very thing that took her 3-year-old son's life. Trick Kaiser was found unresponsive in their pool and later pronounced dead in May. For weeks, the incident has sparked debates online on parenthood, pool safety, and privacy in influencing. Offline, residents in Arizona, where the Kaisers reside, are trying to gain access to the details of Trick's death from official institutions. There have been over 100 public record requests, forcing the family to slap a lawsuit on multiple agencies in the state.
You've got this popular influencer in the news right now because she's suing to keep the public from accessing graphic details about her toddler's drowning. And if you're unfamiliar, this is a tragic story, and the influencer here is Emily Kaiser. And she often posted about their life together, but on May 12th, her son Trig was hospitalized over an accidental drowning incident, and the Chandler Police Department in Arizona, they later confirmed that he died as a result of the drowning on May 18th, with local police saying an investigation into the incident is ongoing and not releasing further details out of respect for the family's privacy. And I will say, because the word investigation, it sometimes rings alarm bells, I want to note that Arizona Central reported that drownings are always investigated to rule out any cases of abuse or extreme neglect, and it would be incredibly rare for charges to be filed in a case like this. Because at the end of the day, many saying this looks like just a horrible, accidental, worst-case scenario for any parent enduring a loss.
Emily has built her content around the mom and wife lifestyle, sharing details of her home, family, and routines. Support for her has been considerable after her child drowned, but she has also received brutal backlash. Users have blamed her for her son's death, citing negligence for not having preventable measures, such as a fence around her pool.
This is how you protect your children, like this. It's a fence, and it goes around your pool, and it's the easiest way to prevent drowning. Enough with the no fence around the pool. What are you doing if you are a parent and you don't have a fence around your pool? Do better.
I'm having a really hard time understanding what is wrong with people. What is actually wrong with humanity? I'm sure you guys have heard about Emily Kaiser, how she tragically lost her 3-year-old son. She literally just lost her baby, and people are blaming her. And then not only are they blaming her, they made a trend where mothers, other moms are sitting here talking about holding my baby extra tight, hugging my baby extra long because, like, what? Instead of making a trend out of her trauma or views and clout, or on the other side of the spectrum, blaming her, saying, oh, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. She lost her baby.
Hyper-realistic dolls, also known as reborn dolls, are designed to look like real babies. When you look at them at first, they can be unsettling. But they are being embraced in Brazil by both influencers and those seeking parenting practice. The dolls are also used in grief therapy with the purpose of offering emotional support to those who have lost their children. Acquiring one depends on your pocket. While there are some that sell for as low as $3, others could go for as high as $2,000. The trend has triggered mixed reactions, with some saying collecting them is an unhealthy hobby. One of the major factors affecting our mental health is our jobs. When we feel exhausted, irritated, and unsuccessful, many of us consider quitting. It is recognized as an occupational syndrome by the World Health Organization and occurs when there is a mismatch between the individual and their work environment. Social psychologist Dr. Christina Mazdak outlines 6 key areas that contribute to burnout.
The biggest trigger is workload. When there's too much to do and not enough time, it can lead to stress and low motivation. It's not only about how much work you have, it's also about whether you have a say in how you carry out your work. Lack of control can make you feel powerless. When you put in a lot of effort but don't feel recognized or fairly compensated, motivation can drop significantly. A negative work environment with bullying or gossip affects everyone's well-being, even those not directly targeted. Feeling treated unfairly leads to frustration and detachment. This can stem from favoritism, overlooked in promotions, or lack of transparency in decision-making. When your personal values don't align with your company's values, it can make your work feel meaningless.
There is no quick fix when it comes to burnout, and the recovery can take anywhere from 1 to 3 years on average. But there are ways to cope with it.
If you're feeling powerless, focus on what you can reasonably control. In burnout, we know that control over the small things, or even just feeling that you have control, is sufficient to protect you against it. Next, if you're being treated unfairly, make sure that you document everything and then find some allies, whether that's in work or outside of it. If you find that you're not working in alignment with your values, or if you're not getting enough reward from your work, then have a think about the work that gives you fire in your belly and then tweak things so that you can spend more time doing that. You only need to spend 20% of your time at work doing work that is personally meaningful and stuff that you really enjoy in order to reduce your burnout risk by half. Next, intense workload, ask for some reasonable adjustments. Truth is that productivity hacks only really go so far in the jobs that cause burnout. Next, if you work in a toxic workplace, then you need a supportive community, so find your tribe at work or look for it outside of the workplace.
Forget about your favorite celebrity. Let's go to Madame Tussauds London to see a sausage roll. A wax figure of the iconic Greggs sausage has taken the spotlight. It's the first time a single food item has ever been treated like a star at the world-famous attraction. The museum says the Greggs sausage roll is synonymous with British culture. The flaky pastry is on display all through June, starting on the 5th, which just happens to be National Sausage Roll Day. And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.